Signs you are a people pleaser. Do you frequently offer assistance without hesitation? Do you struggle to decline requests? If you're nodding along, you may be someone who seeks to please others. I can relate to this, as I've been in the same situation before and still find myself doing it occasionally. However, I've learned to identify the indications that I'm prioritizing others over myself. Therefore, I want to share these signs with you, hoping that you can take charge of your life and ensure that your own requirements are fulfilled. Let's explore these indications. 1. You take on people's emotional responsibility. Do you frequently attempt to resolve other people's issues, even if it entails disregarding your own requirements? I understand. As a good friend, partner, family member, you want to be present for your loved ones. You desire to be of assistance because you possess a compassionate side. And honestly, there is nothing wrong with that. As long as you do not go too far and begin to feel responsible for their emotions and well-being. Here's the deal. No matter how much you want to assist, you cannot control everything, let alone the emotions of others. It is an impossible undertaking, and you are setting yourself up for disappointment. So, learn to relinquish control and enable individuals to navigate their own emotions. Trust me, if you step back a little, they won't fall apart. 2. You frequently say sorry. If you're similar to me, I'm certain you have that terrible habit of apologizing excessively. It is a clear indication of people-pleasing. I genuinely didn't realize that I was constantly doing it. It had become such an automatic response for me. I would catch myself apologizing even when simply requesting to borrow something. In due course, I realized that it made me appear vulnerable and uncertain, and that was not the image I wanted to project. Therefore, abandon that habit and begin to pay attention to your language. Apologize only when it is necessary and do not forget to assert yourself when required. 3. It's difficult for you to say no. Raise your hand if you've ever said yes to something you didn't genuinely want to do just because someone asked you. I confess that I've done this myself. I recall a time when a friend requested my assistance in moving on a weekend when I had already scheduled some much-needed personal time. Instead of refusing, I hesitated, and before I knew it, I had agreed to help. If you find it challenging to say no, it is a significant indication that you are someone who seeks to please others. This reluctance stems from the fear that declining will make you appear selfish or unfriendly. However, it is perfectly acceptable to establish boundaries and prioritize your own requirements. Remember that you cannot give to others from an empty cup. Furthermore, if you cannot stand up for yourself, who will? 4. You prioritize people's needs over yours. The story mentioned above is a prime illustration of another indication that you are someone who seeks to please others. In my scenario, I recognized that I required some time to recharge, yet ultimately, I disregarded that necessity and prioritized my friend's request. Have you experienced a comparable situation? Do you ever feel like you are going above and beyond to meet everyone else's needs while neglecting your own? As a people pleaser, you may discover that you are sacrificing your own well-being to assist others. While being kind and generous is admirable, it is important to remember that self-care is crucial. As previously stated, there are times when you must prioritize your own needs as well. 5. You always seek people's approval. If you constantly seek the approval of others, it is another indication that you are someone who seeks to please others. People who aim to please others frequently require validation that they are admired, valued, or respected. There is no way around it. The only approach to overcome this is to acknowledge your self-worth. Work on enhancing your self-esteem so that you can learn to have faith in yourself and your capabilities. Eventually, you will come to a significant realization. You are adequate just the way you are. 6. You dislike confrontations. I used to believe that confrontation was a negative term, but I have come to understand that it is sometimes necessary for personal development. This is why individuals who seek to please others find it challenging to defend themselves. They avoid conflict at all costs, frequently disregarding their own emotions or viewpoints in the process. Learning to avoid confrontation has been a long journey for me. I have always been someone who strives for harmony, desiring everything to be smooth and peaceful, even if it meant sacrificing my own feelings. However, I must say that the key to overcoming the fear of confrontation is to focus on the ultimate objective. What are you attempting to accomplish? When you shift your attention from yourself or your reputation to your goal, it becomes simpler to engage in constructive conflict, which ultimately results in improved communication and comprehension. So, stop evading expressing your thoughts and standing up for yourself. You deserve to be listened to and understood. 7. You constantly want to do more. Do you frequently exert yourself to the maximum to meet the expectations of others? In the past, I used to believe that I had to excel in everything. This desire for flawlessness can originate from a need to please others and obtain their validation. It is important to acknowledge that no one is perfect, and it is acceptable to have imperfections. Give yourself a break and learn to acknowledge that sometimes, being good enough is sufficient. Otherwise, you may end up feeling drained and fatigued. 8. You have the tendency to burn yourself out. This is related to what I previously discussed, as well as all the previous points. The constant effort to be liked and meet other people's expectations causes you to take on too much. You balance numerous commitments and obligations, all with the aim of pleasing everyone. The outcome? You feel exhausted and overwhelmed. That is how it feels when you are not living life in accordance with your own wishes. When you are not living genuinely. As a former people pleaser, let me tell you that living life on your own terms is pure joy. I am not implying that it is incredibly simple and stress-free, and undoubtedly, you will not please everyone. However, the essential thing is that it is infinitely lighter and more liberating. For me, that is worth the disapproval of specific individuals. In reality, when you cease to be a people pleaser, you rapidly discover which friends genuinely love and embrace you for who you are. I will choose that any day over those who only appreciate me for what I can do for them. Conclusion. As you have noticed, while being a people pleaser may appear to be a beneficial attribute, it can have its drawbacks. I have come to realize that prioritizing my own needs is not self-centered but a crucial aspect of my general well-being. If any of the indications on this list strike a chord with you, take a moment to contemplate your behaviors and contemplate making changes to establish a healthier, more balanced life. Remember, it is acceptable to place yourself first, and doing so will ultimately make you better equipped to assist those around you.